Hey, everybody, I'm John Granado, and that's Lance Zerline. You can hear us mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet so you get all of our content here at SportsMap HOU. Lance, let's talk some Texans. I just don't think
it's that enough people.
I don't think enough people in this world are talking about the Houston Texans. I really don't. I mean, because they're right there. If you turned the standings upside down, they're right there at the top where they belong.
Yeah, they'd be just under the Eagles, but because of that tie.
So let me ask you a question, and I think this is a legitimate question. Are they worse or better under Lovey than they were under David Culley?
How do you say better?
You can't.
How do you say better? I mean, I don't feel as hopeless because with David Culley, it was like, oh, my gosh. This isn't what it's supposed to look like at head coach. But Lovey's more head coachy, and guess what? One win.
The results are worse.
The results are the same to worse. So you can't say they're better off necessarily. That doesn't mean that Culley was the right move. He wasn't the right move. But right now you're stuck in mud. You're in neutral and things aren't going well. You didn't see the growth from Davis Mills that you're hoping for. Yay for Dameon Pierce. He's been great, and there are moments that a guy like Jalen Petrie will flash, certainly. Certainly Nico Collins has his moments as well. But right now, the concern is the results are the same, and they don't know how to win. Like, they don't know how to finish games. They actually had opportunities in the Giants game. That was one they could have, on paper, they could have stolen that game.
No. He had, 46 yards passing or 39 yards passing at the half, and he finished with over 300. Mm-hmm. They moved the ball in the second half when they had to, when they needed to, when it was still a game. They made it a game, and the Giants had to keep on playing. It wasn't like it was garbage yards.
Right.
They were moving the ball on him, and they just made every mistake they could possibly make. But I'm not going to blame Davis Mills on Lovie Smith, but I will blame Pep Hamilton. Do you think they couldn't have found a better offensive coordinator than Pep Hamilton? I don't know what. This is what you can blame Lovie Smith on.
Pep was on the staff.
Pep's not getting it done.
Pep was on the staff. Pep was his guy. It's standard operating procedure, right? A guy who was on the staff with the other guy, a guy who's friends with the other guy, or they're familiar.
You mean for the 4-win team, the guy that was on the staff already?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't the play caller, but everyone thought magic was going to ensue with the combination of Pep Hamilton and Davis Mills, and it simply hasn't been the case. The offense is one of the worst offenses in the league right now. It has its moments from time to time. It will flash. But, yeah, in terms of the organization being better off or worse off, it may be an unfair question based on where they are as an organization, but from a results-driven standpoint, you're no better off up to this point with Lovey than you were with David Culley, and that's a concern.
Yep. You know what else is a concern? Your prostate. If you're older and you think that you have a prostate issue, then it's time to come and see Dr. Michelle Manavis, isn't it?
Going in is the first step, just speaking to one of us. Most of the time we hear incomplete emptying, urinary frequency, erectile dysfunction. Speaking to me about how this has been affecting your life is really the first step to finding the care that you actually need.
If you think you have an enlarged prostate, one place to go, 975prostate.com. Well, not necessarily your prostate, Lance, but I was saying
mine.
Ustedes, your prostate.
Right.
That's what I was.
Saying. The general population.
So we talked about Lovey. Listen, Lovey is responsible for the defense, and it's terrible. It's terrible. Can't stop the run and can't stop the pass. What do you have to do? You can't stop people from scoring. You can't stop the run, and you can't stop the pass. I think that's a problem.
That's a problem. But what did Brian Daboll said about the special teams unit last week?
What did he
say?
There you go. That's great. What
he called it, the best special teams unit he had. Like he just couldn't stop talking about it. And okay, that's great. They have one win, and they still have one win.
So they Caserio picked Culley last. I think he picked Culley last year. I'm still not sure about that with Jack Easterby still there. I don't know. I don't know how that went. He did pick Lovey, right? He picked Lovey. Now they might have been forced into the issue because of Brian Flores. His draft picks, we know Pierce has been really, really, really good. Mm-hmm. The other guys, Petrie has really not been great of late. Stingley has been pretty good, pretty solid. He's been okay. Kenyon Green has not been really good. He's not been great. These are Nico These are guys that have to come through, and they're going to be, I guess, the foundation or at least pieces in the very near future for this football team. Where are we with Nick Caserio right now?
Well, last year he did an amazing job, right? Because he drafted Davis Mills and Brevin Jordan and all these guys. And now it's like you look back at the same draft, there's not that same energy for that draft anymore. And that's why you have to wait. Like, you have to wait. It's not – I'm still waiting. Brevin Jordan needs to be healthy and full go. I think Davis Mills has got a chance to be a low-end starter in the league, but probably with a different team. Nico Collins I like. I think there's potential there. But you kind of have to wait. I mean, I don't have a problem with what Nick has done up to this point. It's a little early after 2 drafts to be defining Nick Caserio as a general manager. So for me, I'm still in a wait mode because this was such a disaster that he took over in the building and on the roster. And this cleanup, when you have the environmental cleanups and when you have the disaster cleanups that come with stuff, it's not a quick process. It takes time. Well, the Texans were an unmitigated disaster. And so this is going to take some time. So I'm okay with Nick for now, but I wasn't in love with his first draft personally. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe it'll end up being better than it looked. Nah, it's kind of right now looking about like I thought the first one did. But I want to wait and give it another year, and then I want to see what happens with this class. I think this class has a chance to be pretty good. I just think they need more time to grow and get better.
Absolutely, absolutely. I will say this: his choices of coaches have not been great. Will Lovie Smith be the head coach of this Houston Texans team?
Here's
Game 1, 2024.
Yes.
2024.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And here's another
question
for you.
So that's going to be 3 coaches in 3 years.
Has Nick Caserio actually chosen a coach?
That's a question I can't answer.
Has he even chosen one of these last 2?
I don't know. I can't answer that. I think he probably chose Lovey, but it was forced. I think it was a forced situation.
So is that really choosing when the Brian Flores lawsuit comes out and their guy that they wanted, Josh McCown, and they realize, ooh, this is going to be a bad look having a guy that's never coached ever as our new head coach?
Well, that would have been a bad look anyway. Brian Flores and not Brian Flores.
Yeah, that was always going to look bad.
Yeah, it was all, and I'm not sure if that wasn't a Jack Easterby pick too. Now that Jack Easterby's out of the building, now it's all on you, Nick Caserio. So live it.